The year 2000. Right now, tens of millions of people are living in countries where they are not supposed to be. No papers, no legal rights, one wrong check, and they vanish. This is how that number grew, collapsed, and then broke every record in history. In 2007, America had 12.2 million undocumented immigrants, more people than the entire country of Belgium, living inside the richest nation on earth. Without papers, they worked on farms that fed America. They built houses. They raised other people's children. They paid social security taxes they could never collect. The economy quietly depended on them. And yet both parties treated them as a problem to be solved. Republicans said, deport them all. Democrats promised reform and never delivered. Every election, both sides used these 12 million as a political football. None of them could vote. None could protest without getting arrested. None could complain to a boss without risking a call to immigration enforcement. They were the most essential, least powerful people in the most powerful country on earth. And the number kept climbing. In 2013. Saudi Arabia had a problem. Millions of undocumented workers had entered the kingdom and never left. Many had fled employers who confiscated their passports and stopped paying salaries. Under the kafala system, workers had no legal way out. Then the government offered a 90-day window: leave voluntarily or face arrest. 1.5 million people packed their bags and queued outside embassies. Ethiopian women who had been domestic servants for years, sometimes unpaid for months. Bangladeshi men who had built Saudi skyscrapers with their bare hands. Yemenis who had lived there longer than their own children had been alive. Within 12 months, they were all gone. The bar on this chart collapsed overnight. Over the next 10 years, another 2 million were deported in fresh crackdowns. And yet Saudi Arabia still runs on undocumented workers today, because the economy simply cannot function without them. 2015. A photograph changed everything. 3-year-old Alan Kurdi, a Syrian boy, washed up face down on a Turkish beach. The image went around the world in hours. That year, over 1 million people crossed the Mediterranean into Europe, Syrians escaping Assad, Afghans running from the Taliban, Eritreans fleeing a government that imprisoned people for no reason at all. Thousands drowned. Boats built for 20 people, carrying 100. Hungary built a razor wire fence overnight. But Germany threw open its doors. Angela Merkel said 3 words: Wir schaffen das. We can do this. Germany processed more refugees than any country in European history, but politics turned ugly fast. The word refugee and the word illegal became the same word in headlines and in Parliament. Most people crossing that sea were not criminals. Most were running for their lives. Subscribe now. We cover exactly these stories every week. August 15th, 2021. Taliban fighters drove into Kabul and the Afghan government dissolved in hours. 40,000 people rushed to the airport in a single day. Videos showed people clinging to the outside of American military planes as they took off. Some fell. Over the following months, 5 million Afghans fled the country. Most went to Pakistan and Iran, which had hosted Afghan refugees since the Soviet invasion in 1979. Pakistan already had over 2 million undocumented Afghans. Iran had nearly 3 million. The new wave overwhelmed both. Then, in October 2023, Pakistan gave undocumented Afghans 30 days to leave or be arrested. 1.7 million were deported or left voluntarily. Families there for 30 years were put on buses back to Kabul. Watch what happens to Pakistan's bar right now. It drops off a cliff. 2023. The United States hit 14 million undocumented immigrants, the single largest undocumented population ever recorded anywhere on Earth. In 2023 alone, Border Patrol made over 2 million encounters, the most in American history. Venezuelans who fled 500% inflation. Haitians who survived an assassination and an earthquake in the same year. Guatemalans, Hondurans, Ecuadorians. Chinese migrants paying $50,000 to walk through a jungle. These 14 million people cleaned hotel rooms, delivered food, worked in warehouses and kitchens and construction sites. The political system spent years arguing about them without asking a single one of them anything. 14 million people, no vote, no voice, completely invisible. The largest invisible workforce in human history. January 2025, Trump's second inauguration. Day 1, executive orders declaring a national emergency at the border. Day 2, military troops at the Rio Grande. Day 3, mass deportation flights began. ICE raids hit factories, restaurants, and building sites across America. Families who had lived here for 15, 20 years woke up to officers at the door. Children born in America watched their parents being taken away. But border crossings collapsed almost overnight. Monthly crossings dropped 80% within 6 weeks. And for the first time in nearly 2 decades, the undocumented population of the United States began to visibly fall. After 25 years of one direction, the bar was finally going down.